This is the first step along your path to a gateway beyond which is discovery, your own discovery of reality, of truth, of who and what you are. Now a simple preparation.
The Gateway Experience by Bob Monroe is a series of guided meditations meant to induce hemisync and promote astral projection. Hemisync is when both hemispheres are equal in amplitude and frequency. One common analogy used to describe this mode of hemisync is the laser versus lamp description. The human mind in its normal state is like a lamp that expands energy in the form of heat and light, but in very chaotic and incoherent ways. And gradually, the energy diffuses over a wide area with limited depth. While in hemisync, the brain acts as a laser beam, which in comparison is much more focused and powerful beam with a higher amplitude and a wider depth. Throughout the guided meditations, Monroe begins to incorporate teachings of Istizhak Bentov. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. I'll have it up on screen. But he has many different teachings of, specifically what we're going to be talking about right now is the frequency following response and your mind's ability to distinguish a beat frequency, which is if I hear one frequency in the right ear that's different from one in the left ear, instead of choosing one, your brain will hear the difference in the two frequencies and create what is called a beat frequency. It's in the module labeled Role of Resonance where Bob Monroe invokes more of Istizhak Bentov's teachings, where he believes that the change in resonance can result. Bentov believes that the change in resonance can result in an elimination of what is called in the medical field as the biofornication echo, which is essentially the rhythm in which your heart flows blood to the rest of your body. And essentially, it can change your rhythm of your heart to optimize blood flow and minimize interference. So basically, every time your heart sends out blood to a part of your body, it let's say it does it 7 times a second. Every time it does that, it's gonna pump and then pump again, and before your blood can reach wherever it's gonna go, it's gonna come back. Like say it's going down to my legs and up back to the heart. That second wave is going to meet with that first wave somewhere along the track. So essentially it was just a theory to optimize the rhythm so there would minimize any meeting of like the pumping of your heart. He just to show you what type of stuff this guy's on, he then goes to say solid matter does not exist in the, like basically by our definition, solid matter does not exist. He says the atomic structure is composed of oscillating energy grids surrounded by other oscillating energy grids. So yeah, he's kind of a... The next module is labeled Holograms, and it dives into some of what Dennis Gabor talked about in 1997 in his series. Basically, it states that energy creates, stores, and retrieves meaning in the universe by projecting or expanding at certain frequencies in a three-dimensional mode. What this means is essentially like, imagine you dropped 3 pebbles into water and created a rippling pattern, and then you froze that water, and you took a laser to the now frozen water, which you removed the pebbles from. The laser that shined through it would recreate the image of the water. Then if you dropped that piece of ice, each individual fragment would recreate the whole image, and the smaller the image, the smaller the piece, the less quality of the image, the more fuzzier and less quality, obviously.
Here we have a somewhat extended system designed for holographic registration of large objects. All its elements must be mounted very stably. The exposed holographic plate then undergoes photochemical treatment and drying. Let's put it into its previous place and illuminate it only with a straight reference beam. A holographic image of the object has been reconstructed. We can see it with the naked eye. It has the same optical properties as the original object.
Essentially what they were trying to do with this program is find people who they believed could astrally project or something of that nature, and they were trying to create a viewless camera, which is a viewless camera, viewless recorder, same thing. Essentially a device that can record without being seen, which obviously doesn't exist by normal definition, because if something that can't have light waves come through, it can't record anything. But what they would do is they found a man by the name of Robert Golf, who was a proclaimed specialist in astral projection. And what they would do is they hooked him up to it's an imager of sorts, and it displayed onto a screen like his brain pattern, and from there they could essentially visualize an image back to what Robert was seeing as he astrally projected, obviously. And essentially the end of the document, it comes to one day Robert died while hooked up to one of these machines because he was outside of his body too long, is what the document says. And I guess briefly, supposedly the CIA, or it was just a 3-letter agency, it's all redacted in the document, displays, essentially the machine briefly displayed his visions of the afterlife. And then the document goes on to say that it was stolen by the Vatican, and it's in the Vatican vault to this day. It's all a bunch of nonsense hoopla that's probably just a red herring. A lot of the times the government will declassify stuff to throw you off of stuff that's actually a big deal. It's what they call a parrot. But no, just seeing the GATE program popping up a lot on my TikTok and other social medias, it just reminded me of this. And I was doing some digging into the GATE program anyways for an upcoming video, and I just thought I'd talk about this. Anyways, thank you guys for watching.